We're Pinkshift.
You're watching
Consequence.
Hey, it's Jonah from Consequence, and I'm here with Pinkshift, our October Artist of the Month. How are you guys doing?
We're
Doing
fantastic.
great.
Well, y'all have a new album coming out, and it absolutely rips. I'm so excited for everybody to hear it. The singles leading up to it has been great. Obviously, there's been a lot of buzz coming around it, so I'm really excited for all the fans and everybody who's going to find you guys through the album to start to experience it. I wanted to start out asking though, kind of about your origins, because I know it was only a couple years ago that you guys were doing like some smaller local gigs, and just still kind of cutting your teeth in the Baltimore scene, I believe. Just kind
Yeah.
of take me back to around that time, like 2019-ish, early 2020, before the pandemic, of just, getting your start in the local scene and what those shows were like, especially compared to, what you guys have been doing as of late.
Our first shows were pretty much um, just kind of booked through Facebook groups, like DIY Facebook groups. A street, we just kind of like the three of us by fall of 2019, we kind of had a few songs to like try to play live, and we kind of were looking for anything because it was our first time just trying to scratch into the scene. And so we were part of these like Baltimore Facebook groups, or Washington DC DMV Facebook groups. And anytime there was like a band posting like, hey, like there's a show X date and like we need just an opener, a local opener, would be like we'd like just grab at the opportunity, be like, hey, like here's some demos of our songs we'd love to play. We're like super new, but we'd appreciate the opportunity to just jam. We like Myron didn't even have like a full kit.
Myron was playing the baby kit.
Oh yeah, I had a baby acoustic kit that I bought for like apartment. Myron's a behemoth of a man. And this kit is for like 5-year-olds.
And that's what we played. We played that we played with that kit. Like Myron played with that kit like at Auto Bar.
Yeah. We have a video of Myron playing on a baby kit.
My friend was like, why is your kid so small? And I'm like, I don't know.
It was like smaller than him.
You should have been like, no, that's just a regular size kit.
I'm super big. I'm jacked. I hit the gym. What are you talking about?
Yeah, our first shows were like very much just like we were just trying to play as much as we could. I mean, we didn't really we were just doing this shit for fun because our lives were super stressful because we were in like school and stuff. So we're just like, okay, this is just like what we do to like stay sane.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot of like, like with DIY gigs, it's like you get tagged onto either the front end or the back end so that the touring band's in the middle.
Yeah.
So like a lot of times we were just tagged onto like the back end, but like nobody knew us well enough. Like nobody even knew us, first of all. So nobody would really stay for us. But that was like most of the shows. Yeah, we were just playing to maybe, I think at the most we played to like our biggest show ended up being, I think that one like right before the pandemic. Like I think there were like maybe like 15 people there.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, that was sick. We were so excited.
That's a great time.
Yeah, somebody took a video of that one and on thin ice and put it on the internet, and you're just like, oh my god, this is like the biggest show we're ever gonna play. Like this is so cool. Yeah, that was our last show before the pandemic, and we're just like, oh, we're just getting into the Baltimore scene. Like there are people coming up to us saying that they want us to play house shows. Like that's so exciting. And then the pandemic happened.
And obviously, not to over talk about the pandemic because everyone's talked about it to death, but it seems like it's such an important part of your guys' trajectory, is because you guys played this last show and then no shows happen. So how did you guys stay together and stay creative and keep working towards to where you guys ended up now, through that shitstorm?
I think that so because of it was the pandemic, there was like nothing really to do, like no one really to see. So we just like ended up like there was like a little time where like no one was like seeing anyone, but then we just like decided to start meeting again just to practice, and we didn't have any like projected shows or like any idea of whether we were going to do that again. We just started practicing again. This is after like Therapist came out in 2020, like in July.
Mm-hmm.
We are just like let's just like practice, and it was like the only thing that we would look forward to each week because we were all like working our jobs, and um, I would drive out. So I'm an hour out from Baltimore, so I would drive out an hour after work to go to Baltimore. Then we would practice, and it would be like the one thing that I'd be looking forward to that day. And then I drive home late as shit, and then wake up really early the next day for work. But
Talk about sleep schedule. Yeah.
yeah, we literally would just practice and like get like an imaginary set down that we realized that we would actually use.
Mhm.
Which was like great. And like from that also came like writing and like coming up with like demos like in the apartment and such. Just from like being our own little bubble throughout that entire time. It really gave us like the creative space actually.
Yeah, we were just kind of playing for ourselves and practicing for ourselves. Like we were just practicing and like we were just trying to get shit down, but we were just like, oh, what if we try? Didn't we try like a Poppy cover at some point?
We did.
Tried a Poppy cover. We had a Billie Eilish cover.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
We had
we had a few covers. It was just fun.
Yeah.
we had a Destroy Boys cover.
Yeah, Story Boys cover.
How serendipitous.
No, it was great. It was like very full circle for us.
So kind of you're reminding me talking about these kind of poppy covers, going back even further to when you guys were just kind of finding each other and your sound. I read a story that I wanted to ask you guys about, that you guys like connected with Myron because you heard him drumming to MCR's Helena, and that's how you guys are like, oh shit, like this is our guy. Like, is that true? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like our school, I feel like there's not like a DIY scene at our college, or not like a rock or punk scene at our college. So we were I think I was in grad school. Shritha was also in grad school.
No, I wasn't. It was
So-
senior year that we got together.
Oh, before, okay, yeah. It was we were playing shows. We were in grad school, but like the year before that, we were still seniors at our college, looking for a drummer, Shritha and I. So we have had this little arts center that had like practice rooms, and one of those rooms had a drum kit. So like I would personally go into the drum room and just like practice and do whatever. And there was a point where Shritha and I would just sit in this little hallway outside the drum room for for a long time.
Yeah, because we had written all these demos and we didn't have a drummer, and we're just like, we should play these out loud, but we need a drummer. And Paul's like, I can play drums, but I'm like, no, like you haven't played guitar in any of the bands that you're in, and you're a guitarist. Like you should play guitar for this one. So we were just trying to look for like a drummer.
We sat outside the drum room, like in this hallway for like many hours at a time, or even whatever, just listening to see like, okay, maybe a drummer will go in and we'll just hear what they play. And most of the time they played like
jazz
or like other types of classical music, which is like sick, but like they probably wouldn't want to be in a rock band. And then one time we heard
we weren't even there on purpose. We were just in another practice room with like June.
Oh yeah, I think we were like doing something else.
We were like next door.
We were next door practicing for something else, and then I heard Helena. I was like, "That's 100% Helena." But like, who is this? And then it's just like baby Myron, like 2018 Myron, just like be like doing that. He's like, "Ugh," they're just like getting frustrated, just like running. Be like, I don't want to bother him.
I was still learning, because like I think that was the year that I decided to actually like start like practicing drums consistently, because like I started learning in college because of that practice room, just because it was there and I've never had a drum kit before. It's funny because like they like put up ads everywhere on campus, and they put like an ad in my apartment building, and I saw it all the time and I always ignored it like purposefully.
Yeah, we had like these flyers.
Yeah, my friends like showed me and were like, hey, you should do this. I said no, I will not.
No, because he just thought we were a bunch of white guys. Because there's just like for fans of like these bands, like they were like, you know, like pop punk bands or whatever. I don't know. I don't remember what bands you put on the influences for the
I
flyer.
put Catfish in the Bottleman for some reason.
Yeah, I was like, I don't listen to them.
Yeah, that's understandable, honestly, on Myron's end.
Yeah, but then like they tracked me down, and then like we were like talking outside the room, and like they showed me like a really like early demo for Mars, and I thought it was really cool. And then like a month after that, we like practiced for the first time.
But it's crazy because like you've like grown so much. Like I mean, I feel like me and Paul have just seen you from like barely being able to play Mars to like
Yeah.
now. And it's like insane.
I had to, because like you guys actually knew how to do stuff, and I was like, "Yeah, I gotta catch up."
Oh my god.
Yeah, here
That's
we are.
that is awesome. I love that. So you guys got to find that flyer if you guys still have it, because that's
It's in
amazing.
the drive. We definitely have it in the
We
drive.
do. It's in the drive. I'm like literally trying to look for it right now. I think I hid it somewhere because I was just like, I don't like looking at this.
I would probably do the same.
That is so funny. I love Myron saying like, no, not for me too. That is
Oh yeah,
awesome.
drummer. Drummer wanted.
No,
Yeah.
There's the flyer.
Oh wait, yeah.
Oh wait, that's so ominous. A friend and I are students. Oh my god.
Starting a music writing project. We're looking for a drummer to play with us. We have an album's length of originals written already, and we have all other members. It was just me and
Wait,
you.
I hate ourselves so much.
We fall into the hard rock / punk rock genre. Influences include No Doubt, Foo Fighters, Nirvana, and Catfish and the Bottlemen. We
like
want
so-
someone who is able to play fast and heavy. Commitment is low key, no pressure. Wait, this is hilarious.
Wait, now that I read it, I like totally get why Myron just was like that shit.
Yeah. No, but like we made like when I drew this, like we made her brown. So like a
you
little
know,
bit
like
of
a little
like
hint. Yeah.
a little hint. We both it's Paul and I's phone numbers on the
We should have
on the
taken a
flyer.
selfie. We should have. That should have been the photo. We should have done.
Yeah, I was about to say.
We would have never done that. Oh my
No,
god. What?
we would have never done that, but we should have.
I guess.
That's
But then
amazing.
everybody would know who's looking.
Oh god, yeah, you're right. No, that I would 100% not gonna happen.
You walk by in the dining hall or whatever, and they're like, "Aren't they the guys looking for a drummer?"
Yeah, literally. Like
Yeah,
that's
I
too
would-
much.
I would pay a lot of money for that to never happen to me.
That is awesome. So it's so funny
Yeah.
hearing these stories and then comparing it to, you know, just a few years later. It's a pretty fast turnaround to having a pretty sizable audience even before the debut album comes out. You know, just a handful of singles, obviously a great live show, and then coming off the back of some really cool tours with some really cool bands. I was curious if that adds any pressure to the release of the debut album, that you already kind of have somewhat of a fan base footing, and that there might be expectations or certain level of, I don't know what, if you guys felt that during the recording or mixing or even just now process.
I feel like we've been really confident in this album. We just want it to be released. We're just like, oh my god, people have like it's like yeah, like it's almost the opposite. Like so many people have been listening to us, but they've only been listening to like these like 4.5 songs. Like Toro's like half a song, you know? It's like it's like they've been listening to 4.5 songs, and it's just like it's like a lot of people, it's like they don't even know who we are, you know? So like we were really excited to just like we wanted to drop this album as soon as possible, and Hopeless is making that possible, which is like amazing. But yeah, like we recorded it literally like this March, like this year, and we're like,
Wow.
all right, this got to go now, like push it out, like people need to hear this. And like even we've only not played, Paul and I were talking on the phone about this like literally 2 days ago, we've only not played like 3 songs off of the album like live. So we're just really excited for people to hear this shit. We just want them to have it.
And you don't have to spoil it if you don't want to, but are those 3 songs going to be on any set list coming up? Are we gonna complete the circle?
I think
Well,
the next show we have,
yeah.
I mean, the next show we have is our album release show, so it'll
We can
definitely
go
be
for
on
There's a
every single song.
every single
Every
song.
single song. Every song we have is gonna be out.
That's great. And speaking of some of the songs, there's a couple that particularly caught my attention, and I have to ask, of course, about The Kids Aren't All Right and what the relation, or if there is a relation, is to The Offspring with that one.
That's what
Oh
I
yeah.
that's what I mentioned. And I'm just like, someone's gonna think that.
Yeah, I was like, for a second,
Yeah.
I was just looking at the track list, and before I got to it, I was like, they didn't throw a cover on it, did they? I was like, whoa. And then obviously it's not. And then I was like, did it just happen to be a perfect title with the themes, or was there like a cheeky little reference that I missed, or what's the story there?
I think like we were going back and forth for names for that song a lot because it's like I think originally we were just what was it like what will the children do or something like that. But it just didn't roll off the tongue. We didn't like it as much as like a title. And then um there's like a couple references like Let Me Drown is a Soundgarden reference. So like I don't know. I just thought it was fun because like I want the song is like a similar like theme. Like it's about like almost the same thing, but like 30 years later. So
Yeah.
it's like
For this, yeah.
like almost 30 years later. So it's like I don't know. I thought it'd be like a cool callback to like that same idea. Like we're still living it.
One of the other songs that really caught my attention just listening to the album was In a Breath. Because it caught me off guard in like the best way possible, where I was like, whoa, I didn't know I needed that little breath. And I really kind of did. And then I ended up it being one of my favorites just because it was that moment on the
Oh.
album where it was like, oh, wow, like that was so cool and like such a refreshing move. So I was interested in that process and how that song came to be. And also if there was any, what kind of thought was put into in terms of placing it where it is. I think it's like the 7th song or something on the album.
Yeah. Well, so that song was written like before all of our shenanigans, like before we, I think it was written before we found Myron, like before even we were looking for Myron. Um, and I think it always just kind of stuck. Like I just really liked the song, and like Paul knew the song too because I showed it to him, and like, um and then like I guess like the idea of having an album is just different than an EP. Like you really get to like show all your range and stuff. And I think we just kind of dug this out. And like I remember like asking you guys, and I was just like, what do you think about putting this on the album? And you said yeah. And I was like, okay, okay, cool. Like let's do that. So that's kind of like where that came from. It's like a song that I wrote like in 2018, and never really thought it would be released like ever, let alone like under a project that actually has listeners. I'm pretty sure I actually have silently released this on like my SoundCloud before. But like obviously nobody gives a fuck because or nobody gave a fuck because I was nobody. Like I was just a student. Like nobody listened to my SoundCloud. I don't know. I feel like with the loud and fast songs, like you kind of don't listen to what they're talking about anymore. So I think this was like an opportunity to kind of just like draw the listener back and kind of be like, yeah, this is what all of this is about. It's like very internal, and very like raw, I guess.
Really quick, I did want to touch on what working with this producer was like, because he kind of has a pretty cool resume. I mean, even I just looking at it was like, oh, I feel like I'd be excited to work with this guy. So yeah, tell me that story.
He kind of just reached out to us cold.
He DM'd us on Instagram.
He did DM us on Instagram.
He slid in.
Yeah, like after Rainwalk.
I thought it was after.
No, it was after Therapist.
After
Yeah.
Therapist. Yeah. he just kind of slid in there and was just like, "Hey, we'd love to talk to you, see what's up." Then we like set up a video call with him like around the time Ragnarok was coming up,
Yeah.
and just got vibes to see like what we were about, what we were trying to do. And he liked our music, I guess. he was a fan, he said. So and us, of course, like huge fans of Turnstile, of Mannequin Pussy,
Title fight.
Like he like I think Turnstile and Mannequin Pussy at that point were like his most recent
Yeah.
like recent projects. So we were like, damn, can't believe this guy is talking to us. But it was like definitely like a lot of conversation in the making, you know, because like it took a minute for us to actually go in and record the album. We actually a year ago we actually went into the studio with him for the first time and just tried recording 3 of those songs, like just for fun.
Yeah. He
This
like
is-
offered. He was
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
into you guys. I like want to see you succeed. And so we just kind of spent like a week with him, which was cool.
Like,
Yeah.
it was like weirdly nice because he spent like a full 4 days with us, or like 5 days, I guess,
Yeah, I think it was.
free of charge, just to like record these demos.
Wow, yeah.
And
Yeah.
we weren't even like on a label then or anything. It was just like it was really cool recording with him.
Yeah, we had no plans really to release anything else. We had just written these songs and he was just like, yeah, just like come in like on my dime, like let's just like try this out. So yeah, he's just like always kind of like been in our corner, which is cool. Like from the beginning. So like even before we were like looking at labels and all that stuff, like he was really supportive of us. So, you know, it's like when we were like trying to figure out, okay, it was like a no-brainer. We're just like, okay, if we do an album, we're gonna do it with Will, because like who else, you know? Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like he really understood us and he understood where we were coming from. We had a really good experience like recording those demos and stuff. So yeah, like it was really fun. We got that first gen.
So great because like he like working with him, like it's super clear that he wants the best from these songs, and like he like really pushes us to like bring that out, which I think is like amazing. He like I can speak for like recording drums, like he's a drummer. So like it was like great being like learning so much from him, like just technique wise. And I'll be hitting something and then he'll be like, all right, like try to like do it, like get more crack out of the snare, like try to get the rim shot more, like try to be like a lot more perpendicular to the cymbal or something like that. And just like those small like tweaks and like technique, like I've still like have been growing upon those like on the tours that I've done like after recording with him. And also like all that sticks with me. It's like every time that I've gone to that studio and like recorded something with Will, I've gotten like I feel like I've definitely grown as a drummer in like a short time. So like it's great. He really like pushes us and like brings the best out of us.
Yeah, with recording and songwriting.
That's wonderful. I love that. I love seeing artists have relationships like that with other people. It's refreshing in the music industry to see, you know, such a wholesome relationship. So
Yeah, I feel like we've been really, really fortunate. Like we love everybody that we work with, and everybody who works with us loves us. So it's like it's very mutual and like fun and open. It's cool.
yeah. And I think one of the reasons for that, and then something I definitely wanted to touch on was something that, you know, makes you guys quote unquote an important band, is that you guys really uplift a lot of, you know, smaller artists. And it seems like something that's really important to you guys is to kind of bring people up with you that are doing things that are interesting and innovative within the form, and also who aren't just a bunch of white guys complaining about the same thing. And really, you know,
That article.
and
Yeah.
and you know, but I think that's great because the barrier to entry sometimes, like Myron seeing the flyer for a genre like this, can sometimes be like, oh, last thing I want to hear is the same bullshit from the white guy with the mustache. So tell me about why it's so important for you guys to kind of foster that community and kind of give back to the other artists that are around you, and fostering those relationships.
I feel like it's just like it's really just grounding, like in a way where it's like it's easy to just like get lost, I feel like, and just not be in reality. I think when like because things are happening just like so fast with us, and it's just like I think like being able to like look to our peers, like for me at least, like people will be like, oh, like what bands inspire you the most? And I'm just like, it's my friends. Like just seeing like our peers succeed and like being able to play shows with them and like, just like, I don't know, doing whatever we can to support our scene. Like I like our local scene and stuff like that, like local bands and artists that I feel like a lot of the times are doing even cooler shit than we are. Most of the time are doing cooler shit than we are. It's just like, I don't know. It's not even like we want to bring people up with us or whatever. It's just like, this is like how I feel okay. It's just like being with people who are in like, like the same kind of stage as us and like feel like they have some other like opinions to offer and like a lot of like really cool art and like they're doing things differently and it's like really inspiring. So just making sure that like we're still in that, because otherwise I feel like it's so easy to just like get sucked into your own stuff and just like like make uninspired shit. So I feel like it's just really inspiring to like be around our peers.
Also, I think back when we were starting, like we had other artists that were at the time much larger than us actually take the time and listen to our music, and just as simple as like a retweet or say like, hey, like check this band out. It's something so simple, but knowing that from the beginning we've had support from other artists in our scene when we didn't really have anything to show for ourselves, just kind of pushes us to really just always want to do the same for others.
That's amazing. So with the album rollout, you guys also have this awesome new headlining tour coming up, which I'm really excited about. I caught you guys opening for Pup in Columbus just earlier this year, and totally just like commanded the room. It was awesome. Like the room was packed, and I don't know how many people in the audience had already heard of you guys, but it didn't even matter because everybody was so into it. So I'm so excited for the new tour, and I just wanted to know the importance of the live performance aspect of Pinkshift to you guys, and what you guys are anticipating for this new top of the bill tour.
Top of the bill tour. That's so fun. For me, I guess, like just like growing up and doing band and all that stuff, like I was just in concert band, but like I know my band director like kind of like instilled this idea in me that, which is true, it's music only exists in time, like and every time you play a song it's different. And I think we just try to grow a lot like with our songs, and like it's like we still play the songs off of Saccharin, but they probably sound really different live now. So it's like if you really want to know us, you have to see us live.
I'd say one of my favorite things about playing live with this group of people is that we're all down to be silly and have fun and just fuck around with the songs that we've written. And when we play songs live, we always try to add an element of like just something different, just making a song a specific performance that you can get, that people are coming to our concert, which is wild to think about, but just also just to see a live show. We don't want to just give them the record, even though it is a record release show, we don't just want to play the record because they can just go home and listen to it. But we just adding like small elements, just adding things to make the show slightly more personal and genuine to like what we are as people. And we're all, I'm not going to say we're silly because I'm not going to say it. Like we are,
we're just goofy.
We don't goofy. Yeah, there's just one song that at the end we just kind of do some stupid shit for it, like Let Me Drown. That's like
Bro,
I love playing
like
that.
multiple songs. It's like Let Me Drown, and then there's Rain Walk,
Then there's Burn
Oh
the
yeah,
Witch.
and then there's Burn. I mean, no, Burn the Witch is like it's a cool outro.
that's cool outro.
But like
Okay.
the Therapist Bridge now.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
we okay. I
Oh, Mars. The breakbeat.
oh
Oh
yeah.
my god, yeah.
Like
I really like our live shows because like at least for me like there's like things where during the recording I'm limited to like my ability like physically, and then like I get better and I'm like, wait, I can do this without like completely like fucking up the song and like doing something completely different. I'm just like, wait, I can like do this like little thing here that I literally just couldn't do before,
Mhm.
and it'll make it like it'll just like make it something different for everyone like live, it'll be a different experience, and people will go back and listen to the recording and be like, oh, that's not on the recording, and then hopefully they'll be like, well, now I have to see them live again. Because
yeah.
the only way I'm going to be able to hear this version of the song, and it's
And
great.
it'll change every time.
Exactly, and I think it's sick, and it makes me want to see them again. So
Yeah. I think like the biggest thing is just like also like with every show, we are just there for that room of people. So it makes the music worth playing because it's like I feel like music, especially like punk music, it's like such a community thing. And so like to be able to experience that with like different rooms, like the show is different, depending on who's in the room with us. And we really just try to like, yeah, like just be with everybody who's there. Like we love that shit.